What's up, everybody? Coach Alec here. I want to be able to go over with you today on how you're going to break through plateaus, because if you're in the middle of summer, I'm guessing you've been dealing with a weight loss plateau, and that's normal. I've been dealing with one myself. The clients that I work with have been dealing with them, and we're here today to break through and break down why that might be occurring, because it's a lot simpler than you think. No, you're probably not. You probably don't have a broken metabolism. Yes, you probably are overeating a little bit, and we're going to go over that today and why I think summer also isn't the best time to be focusing in on weight loss. I always like to say it's either you have abs or you don't in the summer. You're not going to get them. It's going to be the next summer that you're going to achieve most of your fitness goals because of the social aspects, the relational aspects during the summer, just being able to have fun and let loose, enjoy time in the sun, especially after we've been dealing with the last couple years of being locked in. And I've just noticed overall myself too, going out more, enjoying summer more, being able to grab those vices more often, getting the ice cream every once in a while. So we'll go over today exactly where we're going to begin on breaking through your plateau. If you still have a wedding come up, if you still have something coming up in the middle of August, let's say you just want to look good getting back to school, look good just going back into the fall. Cool. Maybe we have a sexy Halloween costume we want to wear. Cool. Let's figure out how we're going to get there. So step number one is the unsexy thing that nobody wants to talk about. Is first off, you got to begin tracking. We got to know where you're at and where exactly what you're intaking, because when it comes to just the summer overall, things add up. We go out to eat, the oils, the butters, the fats that they use on the grills, they add up. The snacks here and there, the reaching into the nut jar or eating the food off of, if you have kids, eating the food off your kids' plates, or just finishing the leftovers of your fiance's plates, if you're me. So those calories add up, and those typically aren't actually accounted for within your diet. So we got to do like a food audit. You got to make sure that everything you're putting in your mouth, gum, mints, just those little bites that you're tasting off the spoon when you're trying to make dinner, you have to make sure we're accounting for those, because it might not seem like a big deal the day of, but over the course of 7 days, if you do that every day and you have a little bit of a bite at dinner, making it every day, and you don't log that, let's say it's just going to be like 60 calories. Over the course of 7 days, it's going to be 350 calories now that you've added to your 7-day average that you weren't even aware of. So we got to start tracking. We have to start being aware of what's actually going into our mouths, tracking everything, doing a food audit, tracking everything that's going in. And then from there, you can start to mitigate and maybe go to tracking protein. Maybe you go to tracking just the things that you need to dial in. But I know no one wants to be able to have their phone out. No one wants to have the yellow legal pad writing everything down, especially when we're at parties, especially when we just got done with the 4th of July. No one wants to have to sit there and, mark every beer they have. Unless you are in a competition for how many beers you can drink, then you gotta mark those down. But tracking is step number one. And then once you get your tracking down, you have to stay consistent with it, because it's not enough that you just start tracking and then you give it up after 3 days and go back to whatever else you were doing prior to that. But not only staying consistent with your tracking, but staying consistent in the gym. What is your consistency like? Are you actually training 3-4 days a week? Or has things gotten in the way this summer? Has family trips, has the kids gotten sick? Has things just gotten in the way to where that 3-4 days is now 2 to 3, 1 to 2? And we have to be honest about where our workouts have been, how consistent we've been in following a cut plan, if we're on a cutting macros plan, or if you're following a meal plan. Are you following it to a T? Or like we were talking about when we're tracking, are we kind of varying? Because that matters, all right? The results that you want in the summer, the things that really come down to when you're trying to lose weight, if you are not in a calorie deficit, if you are eating just at maintenance calories, then you're not going to be losing weight. And that consistency, being consistent week over week over week, is what really matters. That consistency is what builds up. It's not what's going to lead you to the goals tomorrow, but it's going to lead you to those goals in 6 months, a year from now. It's going to allow you to keep those goals 3, 5, 10 years from now. So consistency matters. It always does. And we have to be honest with ourselves if we're actually hitting the goals, hitting the workouts that we need to, hitting the food intake that we need to, the protein, the walks. Is that being taken care of? And lastly, metabolic adaptation. So when it comes to dieting, and this is why I don't think dieting in the summer is the best to go about, because when it comes to cutting down on your calories and then binging or going over our caloric amount on the weekends, now we're kind of in this binge and restriction, or this restrictive and binging kind of mindset, to where our metabolism is going to adapt, and not for the better, not in this case. When you are in a deficit, the hormone signals, the body's signals to the rest of the body. So as you start to lose weight, what's going on is your body's losing tissue. And what we want to do is preserve as much lean tissue as possible, lean tissue being your muscle. And if you're not consistently getting your protein intake very high, and especially in a deficit, this is the reason that we need to focus on our protein intake about 1 gram per pound of body weight, or even more than that if we're in a deficit, because we really need to make sure that we're fueling the muscles, having the amino acids, having the protein to actually keep the tissue on our bodies as we're losing weight. But then if we come to the weekend and we start to increase our calories, we start to go to breweries, we start to go to pizzerias, we do whatever we just kind of let loose Saturdays and Sundays. Well, what happens is your body's already signaling that you are starting to lose tissue. And because of that, it wants to adapt. It wants to make sure that, hey, let's make sure this guy survives. Let's make sure this guy, we preserve anything that's incoming. And what most people don't realize is that fat is very easily broken down and stored on the body. Brandon DeCruz, a great fitness influencer in the space, he says that the fat that you eat is the fat that ends up on your ass. And this is true, because the fat that goes into your mouth breaks down right into your, hey guys, be nice. Sorry, cats are fighting. I had to get them away. One cat's over there. Now I have to throw this cat over there. So, all right. So, but if you're metabolically adapted, so the fat that you eat is going to go directly onto your body. Whereas protein, it takes some energy to actually break down the molecule, to break down the amino acids so that your body can utilize. So if you're dealing with some metabolic adaptation, if you've been chronically dieting in a caloric deficit for quite some time now, and we're at a point where we're in the middle of summer, maybe you've been in it for a couple of weeks, you're not seeing any progress, you feel like you've plateaued, you might be at a point where you need to come out of this deficit mindset and come out and preserve this and go into a season, into a block, into a phase of being able to just take care of you, to be good to yourself, to make sure that you're taking care of your hormones, that you're taking care of your relationships, that you're enjoying your summer, and you're not having to restrict and be in this mindset where you're failing each and every weekend. So it might be an honest conversation with yourself that if you're metabolically adapted, it might be something that you hold off onto. And if you don't already have abs in the middle of July, it might be something that you have to hold off onto till next year, where you're going to have abs for 2023. And that's not the answer you want to hear. It's not the answer I want to give you. Obviously, I want you to have what you want. I want you to be able to walk onto the beach come August, if you're going to the Florida, if you're going anywhere like that, and have abs. But realistically, let's get you in a better place. Let's get you in a better state so that you can continue to break through plateaus, so that they don't even occur in the future, that you know what to do and you know how to get through them. So please like, subscribe, share, comment below if you're dealing with a plateau, comment below if you need some help, and let me know if there's anything I can do for you. If you have any other questions, reach out to me. I'll talk to you guys soon, and have a wonderful July sunny day.